Good morning, all you grinders out there, and welcome to Guys in a Garage. Today, I am here with Mike MacDonald. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Glad to have you on.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I finally came around to asking you and wanted to get you on here and hear your story.
Oh, man. So, let's see. My story.
Yeah, where do you want to start? How far back?
Well, I started out my working career 12 years old. I was a little entrepreneur in the neighborhood and had like 7 or 8 lawn mowing jobs and maintenance jobs.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was a little pimp in grade school.
So you were making all the dough?
Yeah. I had girls searching my pockets for lunch money and,
Making all the 12-year-old panties wet?
Yeah, somebody had to do it.
Somebody's got to buy candy bars and licorice whips.
Exactly. So,
Lawn mowing gigs and maintenance. What kind of maintenance work?
oh man, I would trim up bushes, saw down trees. I was doing all that kind of stuff at 12.
Oh, like pruning and shit like that?
No, I was actually sawing down trees.
Oh, cutting down trees.
And digging up stumps and...
Digging with a shovel?
Yeah.
Somebody couldn't give you a truck to pull it out?
I couldn't drive. They don't give 12 years olds a license. So,
it depends on where you are. If it's a small town, you don't need a license. I drove without a license when I was like, about 12, I think, is when I started driving.
Well, see, my dad worked for General Telephone back when it was still GTE.
Before,
Before it went to Verizon and everything else. So he got bumped around all over the place.
Oh, so you guys moved around a lot.
Oh yeah, at the time that I started mowing lawns, I was living in Kirkland, Washington.
Okay.
And then we moved down to Portland, Oregon.
Ew.
Yeah.
Although it was a lot better then.
It was. And then we came back home over here, so.
Yeah. And now you have weirdos fucking washing their balls in their butthole in drinking fountains and...
Well, you still had the weirdos back then, too. They just weren't as prevalent.
Yeah, they were different weirdos.
They still wash their balls in their buttholes in the sinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like in the drinking fountains on the side of the street?
There was a lot of weird stuff that I saw growing up. So.
Yeah, Spokane is getting just about as bad.
This whole world's getting that bad.
Yeah, that's true. I had this gal that worked with me, and she lived up in, it was in North Spokane somewhere, and it was like her first week that she worked for me, and she comes in and she was telling me about on her way to work, she sees 3 bums under a bridge. One of them's like standing there just facing the street with his dick out, jacking off. Another one has got his back turned and he's taking a shit right next to the guy jacking off. And then another guy was laid up against the wall with a needle in his arm, just like staring at traffic, shooting up.
Wow, is this like the whole see no evil, hear no evil Blumpkin story? Or?
Yeah, kind of, right? Shoot a load, drop a load, and...
Shoot a load.
And shoot a load.
Nice.
Yeah, Spokane's gotten interesting, to say the least. So Portland, and then you came back here.
Yeah, and from here I joined the military after high school. After high school, I joined the military.
You can lean back if you want. Just bring the mic with you so it's close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable, man. And that thing will move all over the place. You can just grab it and pull it right up to you so you can just sit back and chill.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, after that, joined the military and saw half the world through the army. And
so you joined the military, like what, right after high school?
Yeah.
Are you one of the ones that joined like the day you turned 18 and you still had to finish high school before you could head out?
I joined at the age of 19 because I was a GED grad.
Oh, okay.
So I was not good in school ever.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm dyslexic. Didn't really learn how to read till I was able to sing karaoke in a bar.
Oh, there you go.
So, had to watch that little ball bounce along the words.
Yeah, I'm not dyslexic. I just fucking hated school. I just didn't do well.
Well, see, growing up in the 80s and, getting out of high school in 94,
Yeah.
They really didn't understand dyslexia.
Oh, yeah, no.
So they still don't really understand it. But
yeah. Well, I'm sure they looked at it then I mean, like they looked at kids with ADHD and shit like that.
No, they just call me a retard.
Yeah, or they're like, oh, you pay attention, you know, shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't look at that kind of stuff with any kind of real foresight back then.
No, I think they still need to work on it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's like Henry Rollins, so you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
The singer, actor, poetry writer, all that stuff. His parents put him into... But he was kind of rambunctious when he was a kid, and so his parents put him into some sort of like a testing trial program for Ritalin when that first came out, and he was on that from the time he was 5 until he was about 18 or 19, I believe, and so they were pumping him with that shit every day for years and years and years.
Well, look what it produced.
I know, right? Yeah,
some of the greatest music ever.
Yeah,
you know,
and right. Which is funny because until recently, I didn't realize that he was the lead singer of Black Flag. Never even knew that until I started digging into him and looking him up. And I was like, oh, no shit. That guy's been ripped his whole fucking life.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He goes into a gym, he works out every day for hours, and then he'll sit with his wall of records that he has in his house. And he has like this... like record player with this giant speaker stack that's like $6,000 a piece, and he'll just sit there for hours writing and just listening to music. That's all he does. He doesn't even own a TV. The only clothes that he owns are like black and gray shirts and jeans, and he still drives like a 2010 Mazda 6 or something.
Yeah,
but he doesn't spend
all
money.
Beat up.
Yeah,
yeah.
The guy's nuts. So military. What'd you do before the military? So after you came back here, you didn't do anything? You didn't work at a grocery store?
I worked at MacDonald's for a little while.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, flipping burgers for $5.25.
$5.25?
Yeah.
Damn, what year was that?
That was 92.
92?
Yeah.
Shit,
and then
I was 8 years old.
Then I worked at Pizza Hut, and the one over here in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like right across the street from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I worked at that McDonald's.
My brother worked at that one too.
And then worked at the Pizza Hut. I only worked at the Pizza Hut for like 2 weeks as the doughboy. And I would get in there early morning, and the manager comes in one morning, and he's like, man, you should have made more dough by this time. How can you not make dough? I'm like, for one, you never taught me how to make anything. Number two, if I'm wasting your time, then you're wasting my time. Here's your fucking apron and go kick rocks. And I walked out.
Nice. Yeah. See, that was kind of my attitude towards school.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do well. Like, go fuck yourself.
And then ended up getting my GED. And it only took me like 2 weeks to get my GED, and
oh, nice.
Left that summer for basic training. Yeah. Did AIT, did Sapper School, straight off to Bosnia.
Cheers to the GED, man.
So, yeah, it was just straight off to Bosnia after that.
Bosnia. That must have been a fucking trip.
It was before Princess Diana passed away, so we were still doing manual breach on minefields.
Manual breach.
That's where you're probing for landmines, and you're actually disarming them.
So like you're out there with a stick just poking around?
It's a fiberglass rod, about a foot and about 14 inches long. And you're just probing for them. And once you hit metal, you dig around it and make sure there's no mouse trap or any other kind of booby trap up underneath it. Yeah. And then you disarm the landmine.
Jesus.
And if you find enough of them in a row, then then what you would do, instead of disarming them, you would put down a pop and drop. Basically a brick of C4, daisy chain it to a bunch of other bricks, and pop as many landmines in place as you can.
Yeah. Wasn't there something about Princess Diana? She went somewhere and there was a whole big thing about like old minefields. Yeah,
she basically went to the United Nations.
Yeah.
And had in a peace accord, she basically protested for no more manual breaching of minefields, just to blow all minefields in place mechanically. So kids were no longer getting hurt, and to get rid of the landmines or the old land minefields from World War I and World War II and everything else. And so that's what they started doing.
Yeah, because that was a big thing, right? There were kids getting trapped in minefields and getting blown up.
Oh, the
shit like that.
The saddest thing I saw in Bosnia was a little kid that was already missing his legs, and he was pushing himself around on a skateboard, and he broke his finger.
Yeah.
And his mom came out and slapped the shit out of him because he broke his finger and was crying on the side of the road.
Jesus. That's tough love.
You know? No, I saw a bunch of really, really sick crap over there.
I'm sure you did, man. I'm sure you did. Yep. Yeah, it's I can't imagine the shit you saw over there. We don't have to talk about it if you want to. This one.
I'm not going to go too far into it or anything.
Yeah.
You know.
So what was your designation then in the military? What were you technically?
At that point in time, it was called a 12 Bravo. Okay. They changed the declination, or my MOS declination, back in 2005. They changed the 12 Bravo back over to a 21 Bravo, where a 21 Bravo was a drill sergeant and a 12 Bravo was
like a grunt,
was a combat engineer.
Oh, okay.
And so they changed those declinations around because so many people were basically calling the 12 Bravos all sappers, because a lot of us ended up going through sapper school, but then sappers started going over into EOD and everything else, and then you had more sappers in EOD than you did as combat engineers. So they changed the declination back to 21 Bravo. So
what exactly?
Which it was a 21 Bravo during World War I, and they changed it to 12 Bravo because it was no longer in engineering field. It was more, you're a demolitions expert, go blow shit up.
Yeah.
And so they had to change it back to an engineering field and changed it back to 21 Bravo.
So it went from here's some explosives, go have fun, to okay, maybe you should think a little bit more before you do stuff.
No, back before World War I, it was, you're an engineer, let's go build bridges, do that kind of stuff. After World War I, they were like, nope, here's your bombs, here's your shit, go have fun. and then after 9/11 happened, and with the stuff that we were doing to the Taliban.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, we need actual engineers to rebuild these bridges and stuff like that, because all these 12 Bravos are in there blowing everything up. So now we need to recover from that. So
what exactly does a combat engineer do? I've always wondered.
Okay, so a combat engineer, we know how to build, like as a 62 Echo or a heavy equipment operator, they're still designated as a combat engineer. You have 12 Bravos that are combat engineers. You have 62 Juliets and 88 Mikes and a bunch of other people that are called combat engineers.
Yeah.
That's the field. Or that's what the company does as a declination, is they're an engineer outfit.
Okay.
But you have different military occupations inside that outfit. So each one is its own entity, but each squad does different things.
Yeah.
So as a combat engineer, as far as a 12 Bravo or a 21 Bravo, which that's what they call it now, I was in charge of clearing debris, setting up obstacles, and blowing shit up.
So like in World War II, a combat engineer would be setting up like barbed wire traps and shit, fences and shit like that.
Setting up the minefields.
Yeah. And then you'd have another one that's figuring out how to build portable bridges or, shit like that. Yeah,
like Bailey bridges and stuff like that, and deploying those and getting across waterways, and also makeshift airports and runways. And
those are just different designations of
those
combat
are different
engineers.
jobs up underneath the whole combat engineer field.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because all the engineers that I work with, I mean, some of them are great. Some of them are very forgetful. Some of them, I'm not sure what they do, but anyway.
Some of them don't know their ass from their elbow. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because they're all very smart people, right? But you can have a PhD and still be a fucking moron. Just because you know a lot about that one thing doesn't make you smart. I know a lot of, I always say, I know a little bit about a whole lot of things, and I know a lot about very few things, but I'm always learning something. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm a fucking moron too.
Same here. I mean,
I would never say that I know everything.
As far as being book smart and practically smart, huge difference. They're worlds apart.
Right.
Now,
see, I'm a hands-on guy, so I'm more practically smart, but I'm book smart too. But it's way harder for me to learn with a book than it is for me to just get in there and get my hands dirty and fuck shit up.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But no, I meet people all the time that are freaking book geniuses, but you put them in the real world, they don't know how to change a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you can still be a fucking idiot. There's a lot of those floating around, unfortunately.
But yeah, you know, growing up, yeah, you know, I always had a drive to just want to make money. And then after the military, my body's been so broken down.
Yeah. See, I've had a drive to make money when there's something that I want. And then when I get that, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking done.
No, I hear you. Now there's really no more drive to go make money anymore.
Yeah.
It's more like, you know, I'm happy with my retirement and they pay me a decent pension.
It's good, man.
Which I earned.
Yeah.
But
fuck yeah, you did.
Other than that, you know, just trying to get right with God because with the way this world's going.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily anything that you or anybody that's been in your place, you know, has any control of or has necessarily done anything to make things any worse.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about other things as far as society and the way things are going.
Yeah.
And I was raised as a Christian all my life, and I walked away from it for a long time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, anymore,
I can see that.
I'm just like, you know, I with the way the world's looking today, with all the crap going on, it's like we live in Sodom and Gomorrah right now.
Yeah, that's true. It's all going to hell in a handbasket. And
I'm just waiting for the rapture to happen, so I got to get right, man. I don't want to get left behind.
Fuck. Man, this would be a good episode for you and Charlie. Go in on some deep Jesus action.
Yeah, we could do that. Because he's got his own opinion about it. Because
he does.
Because you know, I love the guy to death, but he's definitely got his own worldly views.
Oh, he does. I love Charlie.
Love him to death, but
that's why I call him the scholar. You know, the Jesus scholar. He does. He has some interesting viewpoints, though. You know, like, and I've said on here before, and everybody knows my take on things and my background. You know, I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I mean, he does have some interesting points of view, and he does make me think every time that I talk to him, and not just on the podcast, but you know, he's
even in real life.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, he's a great friend of both of ours, and man, that guy has some. Not even when he's talking, you know, about religion, but just philosophically. That guy's fucking interesting. Yeah,
it's just Charlie and I can't talk like that when we're drunk.
Well, yeah, of course not.
Because, you know, we both have such strong opinions in either direction.
Yeah,
that,
right?
You know, Charlie and I have gotten in arguments before. Some seriously heated stuff, and it's like, oh, crap, dude, I shouldn't have said that kind of crap. That was the alcohol talking. Please forgive me, brother.
That's why you're brothers, though.
Brothers fight.
Yep. Yeah, good friends fight, brothers fight. It is what it is. At the end of the day, nobody really cares. That's why you can, that's the best part about having an open mind, is being able to disagree later and just say like, you know what? Fuck it. You do you. Mm-hmm. Or, maybe in some way they change your mind a little bit.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, that's part of hard discussions and hard topics to talk about. And we all have our own viewpoints.
Yeah.
And we all have our own free will.
Yep.
So.
Well, do we? It's a good question. Well, I've actually brought this up with Charlie before, okay. I think. Yeah.
Well, maybe not societally we have our own free will, but according to God, we have our own free will.
Yeah.
And that is to either follow his teachings or not to follow his teachings.
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely a rabbit hole we could go down. We'll wait for Charlie, though.
It'd be a fun episode.
Yeah, we'll wait for Charlie. So how long were you in the military? You were in the Army, right?
I was in the Army.
Yeah.
Total of 15 years.
Damn. 15 years, man. That's a long time. I have a friend of mine, another good friend of mine. He actually used to be my boss a long time ago. He was in for 11 years, I believe. Yeah, that guy's got some interesting stories too. I've been trying to get him on. He's busy as shit.
Yeah, a lot about my military career. I don't really talk much about it anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I understand. It's all right. Yeah. So what have you been doing since?
Playing golf.
Playing golf?
Yeah.
Yeah? That sounds fucking awesome.
Playing golf. I've been helping. I worked under the table for a while, doing some construction.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just
doing like roofing or drywall or?
All of it. Just whatever. General contracting.
Sweet.
So.
That's good. Under the table's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Uncle Sam.
Other than that, lately I've been helping over with Heart of the City Church. They are opening up a new annex out in Post Falls. And I've been helping them remodel the building that they purchased.
Sweet.
And, devoting my time back to the church.
Sweet. That's awesome, man. Or is it just like a volunteer thing? Or?
Yeah, it's totally volunteer.
Awesome.
So
you're just helping them build or
remodel.
Okay.
Like we scraped a bunch of rug off the sides of the walls and everything else because the old church was using that for acoustics.
Oh yeah.
And scraped all that off and then remudded over the top of the walls and retextured, and now I'm doing a flooring job for them. So. Sweet. Because they pulled up all the basement carpeting and now they're going with the laminate.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Don't want to burp over the microphone,
Yeah, it is what it is. I got a little blockout button. So your work with the church. So you're retired, you're working with the church, volunteering. I mean, it's a stupid question, but you feel good about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Giving back to the community and all that? Yeah. It's good.
It keeps my mind right.
Yeah.
And I could dwell in the chaos and everything else that I've seen and done and been through.
Well, and I have to imagine too, being in for 15 years, you have to have developed maybe a mindset of service.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's why I started in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, keeping yourself busy, keeping your mind right, being of service, giving unto others. I can see how all that is good for you, for sure.
No, and over this last winter, I ended up having like 5 hemorrhoid surgeries.
Oh yeah.
So, and that was a real pain in the ass. But
is that from memes on the toilet or just working too hard?
Working too hard.
Okay.
And so that laid me up throughout almost all of this last winter, and I ended up becoming really depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
So
I get fucking winter blues really bad.
But this was like super winter blues.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do anything.
Right. See, I don't do anything because I fucking hate the cold. So I end up in a shell in my house all the time, and I don't do anything. Although this year I am going to try to get out and like snowboard or something to keep myself busy. But I typically do the same thing. Even when it gets rainy out, I'm one of those people that's like, oh, boo.
Yeah. Well, through the fall and typically through the winter, that's hunting season. So
yeah.
For me, I'm usually out in the woods, and I wasn't even able to do that last year. So
what do you hunt for? Do you go for everything, or
deer, elk, all of it?
Whatever you can get your hands on and get a tag for?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to finish the course and everything to get your, hunter's license.
Like stuff. Rifle safety and all that.
Yeah, because so during COVID, the state of Idaho, and maybe it's everywhere, but they changed like a lot of the restrictions, and they made it so that the hunter safety course was basically all online. Mm-hmm. You could do all the online tests and everything, and they were waiving the field day.
Yeah, the practical.
Yeah, because obviously they don't want people fucking coming and hanging out.
Which, don't get me started on COVID. That was a freaking government cover-up bullshit.
Hey, we've been down that rabbit hole in the show plenty of times. Yeah. Yeah, we got an episode pulled because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know about that? I think it's episode 25 got pulled from YouTube because...
Wow, let's talk about Hawaii and let's get this one pulled.
Do it. Anytime I can get an episode pulled from YouTube, I'm excited about it now. Because it's all YouTube.
Because flat out, Hawaii was a government job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've so some friends of mine that are way into that stuff,
and then you look at the people 2 days ago that came out going, oh, we are asking you to send donations.
Yeah, Oprah and The Rock. Yeah, a billionaire and a multimillionaire asking everybody else for donations. Yeah. Like, why don't you fucking donate?
When she was the one that was sitting there going, I want this property.
Yeah, she could single-handedly rebuild everyone's houses.
Before all this crap happened, she was like, I want this property.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a fire happens?
Yeah. No, not just a fire happens, but
the whole place gets burned down?
Only that area burned down.
That she wants.
Like the upper area or whatever it was where all the rich people's houses are and shit like that. Like none of that burned. Not even touched. Not even close. Yeah, it's a job, dude.
But the thing is if you look at the things that didn't burn, it looks completely like it was hit with a microwave weapon.
Yeah. Well, they're saying laser beams.
Well, the thing is back in January. If you look at NASA's reports between January and February,
yeah,
China already scanned that whole area with green laser mapping.
I did see something about that. Yeah,
it was all green laser mapping.
And there was a like somebody had a Ring doorbell that caught it on video. Mm-hmm. The green laser thing coming down.
NASA
and
has videos of it.
Yeah,
and NASA reported it.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, "Why the fuck is China scanning our shit?"
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
and somebody was all like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just ignore that."
And then they have videos of the start of the fire.
Yeah.
Where it actually looks like a laser hit and started the fire.
Yeah. Well, and I was looking at something that brought up, you remember, was it last year or a couple years ago? Excuse me. Was it Paradise Valley, California? Mm-hmm. And hey, whatever. Sorry to anybody who's, dealing with that still, but there was something that I saw that was a video of it was some kind of what the hell do you call it, some kind of like weather analysis or something, and in the video it just happened to show what looks at one point like a laser beam going for a couple seconds directly to Paradise Valley. and then it just disappears. And then all of a sudden, bam, huge fire, and the whole valley burns down.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they showed in Hawaii too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what they're looking at now. It's like, no, it was fucking laser beams. No, what I don't understand is why they've basically turned Maui into a militarized zone, right? I mean, I can understand like some reasoning of, well, we're trying to protect people. Like, you can't go back towards your houses because it's all debris and blah, 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 and somebody might get hurt. Like, okay, in some way, I guess that's somewhat reasonable, but it's my shit. It's my fucking house. If I want to go into my own goddamn house, even if it's a pile of rubble, go fuck yourself.
To a point. Because with as much devastation that happened there,
yeah,
the Hawaii governor, or the governor of Hawaii and the Senate for Hawaii, they can actually declare martial law.
Well, yeah.
Okay. That would be a normal scenario, but all martial law allows them to do is create curfews.
Yeah. But they've got like roadblocks set up and barriers and all this shit. But they had that shit set up the day that the fires started, and they weren't letting people leave the areas that were burning. And it's like, hey, the fucking fire is like a block away. Can we please get the fuck out of here? And the cops were all like, no, we have our orders. We have our orders. Like, to keep us here so we can burn to death?
That is where it is a government cover-up.
Yeah. Why
they
the
don't
hell?
Want witnesses.
Right. Why were they fucking keeping people in there?
To kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Excuse me, YouTube, to unalive them.
Yeah, you notice that too? I've noticed that recently in fucking videos where somebody says the K word, right? They change it, or they bleep it out and they just show it in letters on the screen. It's like, why do you do that?
Because
fuck this. I don't care about YouTube.
Yeah,
when someone says the word kill, they bleep it out and then they put in letters on the screen kill instead of actually saying it. So that when their stupid algorithms go through listening to everybody's shit before it posts, they're like, oh, this goes against our guidelines. Like, why? People fucking die. People are dying. People are getting killed by fires.
Okay, well, what we can do is we'll say killed.
Killed, yeah. No, and I'm curious, right? Why do they do that? Is it because snowflakes have a problem with hearing about people getting killed or people dying?
Yeah.
Or is it because YouTube is part of the cover-up conspiracy?
No, they're part of it. All media is part of it.
Yeah, they all are. Fake news.
No, it's beyond fake news.
Fake news. Lasers from China.
It's government-ran media.
Yeah, it is. Well, Washington Post, which is owned by Bezos, LA Times, New York Times. I mean, pretty much everything.
Here's the thing: even these people like that try to report, as far as like self-reporting, they have to. They either get shut down or have to follow the guidelines.
Right. Yeah, well, you have all these people that are like independent reporters and stuff or whatever, and they just get called conspiracy theorists left and right, and people fucking laugh at them and all this shit until like 3 months later when the CDC or the federal government admits shit, and then it's like, yeah, I was fucking saying that 3 months ago.
I'm waiting for all of these people to come around and go, you know what? All the conspiracy theorists from this point to this point were all right.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and it's already happening. What fucking boggles me, right, is how people can trust in what the government says wholeheartedly so much, even after they have already released documents and declassified shit admitting that the CIA fucking killed our president.
There are chemicals in everything that we eat and drink right now.
There are, yeah.
That for a lot of people, I believe some of the chemicals that they are putting into our food and drink allows us to be more susceptible to brainwashing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I believe that.
And that is all the media is right now, is a brainwashing machine.
Yeah.
And you get, let's say you get even 70% of the population to believe one way.
Yeah.
You've won.
Well, and it's
because the other 40% or even 30% that don't believe that way, or they could wipe those people out.
Yeah. And so we can go down the whole rabbit hole of what they are doing is systematically turning the men of this country into pussy bitches. And I'm, this whole horseshit about toxic masculinity.
That's all bullshit.
It is. It's fucking horseshit. Like, boys should be boys, and they always should be. And I'm not saying that bullying is okay and blah 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 and all this stuff. But you know what? If boys want to fucking fight, let them fight. Don't break it up. And I mean, unless they're gonna fucking kill each other, then okay, let me step in. But I mean, you back in the old fucking days. I knew people, and I've talked about this before. I knew fucking guys that got in fights and they fucking punched each other and whatever, and they got down in the fucking dirt. And then afterwards, it was like, hey, you want to get a beer? Like, it was no big fucking deal.
Actually, most of the guys that I fought with back in junior high and high school, I'm still friends with today.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it is part of being a man is challenging and testing each other.
Well, that is what testosterone does. That is a primary male hormone.
Right. It is what testosterone does. But what that teaches us, right, is how to handle adversity and how to handle challenge and how to handle each other and have a relationship as men of just because you know where each other stands.
Another thing is the men that have higher testosterone levels than other men and do those challenges and act that way become successful men.
Right. Yeah.
Because they are men. You take away that and you don't allow that testosterone to build up.
Yeah.
You end up with society of weak men.
Right.
That's what they're doing today.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. So all of this horse shit that's in our food, all of the fucking soy and estrogen loaded horse shit and fucking GMOs and whatever else.
Horse shit a long time ago because I really don't like the flavor.
Well, you gotta feed the horses peanuts and stuff to make it a little more piquant flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. If you feed horses chips and salsa, then you get a much better shit flavor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you should try that.
I will.
No, but yeah, I agree with you. All the shit that they put in our food, that's one part of...
But the thing is they're putting in so many chemicals that everything is to drive testosterone down.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason for it is to weaken men because we are what they are scared of. Because if anyone's going to rebel, it's going to be us. So if they turn us into pussy little man bun, skinny jean wearing bitches that beg for pussy and fucking cut neck beards and play video games all day, then...
But the funny thing is you get... They're teaching women that, okay, they should be on OnlyFans. They should be doing all this stuff and celebrating their femininity all over the place.
Yeah.
And so the real men are no longer attracted to the women that are coming out today because of hoflation.
Hoflation, yeah.
That's,
well, right, and that's true.
Hoflation is where a man has to work 80% harder for a woman that is valued 20% less than what his grandmother was.
Right. Yeah, you realize that too. Like, how many fucking fug nasty women are on the internet all the time now?
They're all over the place.
Like, look at me, I'm so hot, raw. Bitch, you are fucking nasty as shit. Take care of yourself, and then maybe I'll think about it.
And these women that think they're a freaking 10,
they're not. They're a 2.
If they're a 2.
Yeah. And then the 10s that are out there, like...
There's a few 10s out there, but they're either in a relationship, going to church, or are already married.
Yeah, exactly. They're not on fucking OnlyFans.
No, they're not on OnlyFans.
They're not on OnlyFans.
And they're no longer single.
Yeah.
Because have already been snatched up by that guy that they devoted to themselves way back in junior high and high school.
Well, the guys who are still guys.
Yeah.
Who understand and have been taught that all of this horseshit is horseshit. And
that were raised right by their fathers if their father was in the home.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's a big fucking load of horseshit is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not piquant and nutty flavored.
No, it's not.
It's not chips and salsa.
It's shit flavored.
It's shit flavored.
Shit flavored shit.
Absolute shit flavored. Cheers.
Cheers.
We need to stop falling for it.
Oh,
and that's part of, so me and Charlie got into it, or I mean, one of our me and Charlie's last episode, we were talking about comfort and what all of that, how everything that's going on today kind of stems from that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll say the same thing that a lot of fucking guys are starting to realize is you need to learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's because to be uncomfortable is to become right again.
Yeah.
Because there is no way we can sit back and be comfortable with everything that's going on. We need to be uncomfortable with everything going on. We need to speak out, raise our voices.
Yeah.
Be the men that we were taught by God to be.
Yeah.
And become leaders of our households.
Yeah. Well, and I understand, the Bible and things that it teaches and all that stuff. There's a lot of structure in the Bible, and there's a lot of structure in religion in general, which is a good thing. It is.
But what I'm saying is, aside from the structure of just the Bible or whatever, if you take what this country was built on, our country is built on very Christian values.
Well, yes, it is.
And our country taught men to be men.
Right.
And to be the leader of their household.
Yes.
Women now lead the household.
A lot of them do, yeah.
In 99.9% of the households out there, women now lead the household.
Yeah, well, and whether or not y'all want to admit it, ladies, 99.9% of you don't want to lead the household.
No, they don't.
You don't want to.
And that's why the divorce rate's so high. Mm-hmm. That's why all this shit's going on.
Yeah.
Is because the roles have been flipped so far out of balance.
Yeah.
That there is no longer a balance.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for women's rights and women being able to, if they want to go work a full-time job or whatever, like, cool, that's fine.
Great, but I'm not going to accept a woman with 1,000 body count.
Right.
Because
exactly.
I don't want to throw this hot dog down that hallway.
Right. You don't want some hoe bag that's been with like 1,000 dudes that's got, 50 fucking kids. And she's just basically living off of all of their child support.
Their child support, which that's another thing that needs to change in this country, is if men are willing to support their kid, men should have full access to that kid. Mm-hmm. Not partial, not with whatever access. They need full access to that kid. If they're paying to have a relationship with that kid, the mother should have no right to say that father should have only visitation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother deal that we could go down.
but see that's the problem with the household today. You look at the household today and you see these women that are raising these kids without a father figure and then telling the kid that their dad was a shitbag, even though their dad's paying them $600 a month and the kids don't see a dime of that fucking money.
Right. I think a huge issue with that, again, goes back to comfort. We have everything provided for us, right? And it's very good as a man to live in a mindset of abundance, right? There's plenty of everything. But you also have to understand that just because there's plenty of everything doesn't mean that you should just throw away what you have because you can just get another one. Does that make sense?
But here's the thing, there's not plenty of everything.
Well, right. There isn't. But having that mindset is a good thing. That doesn't mean you should treat everything as if it's just replaceable.
No, what I'm saying is there is not plenty of everything, because if you look at today's society, you look at inflation, you look at everything else, for you to find a truly good woman for you is actually very rare.
Right.
Even though you might have a girlfriend or a significant other right now that is good for you.
Right.
But to go back and look at your ex, go back and look at, the relationship after that ex, and going into finding the one that is right for you, maybe right now. Mm. Maybe even the one right now, you're still going,
No, what I mean is, world of abundance. So let's narrow it down to just when it comes to women. So as a man, world of abundance, right? You shouldn't be afraid to be yourself and just be who you are.
Oh yeah.
And let someone go who doesn't fit your moral fiber and doesn't match your energy, and just isn't the right one for you. Right? Because there's plenty of fish out there in the sea. There's always another woman. But that mindset aside, when you find one that's good and one that is, a 10 or at least matches up to your list of absolute wants, right? Which is something that every man should have.
Oh, the thing is I'm not even looking for a 10. I'm not even looking for a 2 right now. I'm not looking for a woman. I'm looking for a wife.
Right. But it's still subjective, right? So a 10 in your eyes is someone that meets your list. We'll say it, your list of demands. So the things that you want and require in a relationship. This is what having a relationship means to me. These are we'll say the 5 things that this person has to have in order for me to even consider them as as wife material, right? Say they only have 2 of them. If these 5 things are your absolute must-have, and they only meet 2 of them, they might still be a cool person. They might still be a cool chick.
I wouldn't settle for it.
Exactly. You shouldn't settle for it. Like, okay, maybe they're fun in the sack for a night or 2.
I wouldn't even get in the sack with them at this point in time.
Good for you. You shouldn't.
They're not worth it.
Yeah, they're not. But, and then, so I mean, I have my list. I have my list of these are things that are absolute must-haves for me to be in a relationship with someone. These are things that would be cool, but they're not deal breakers. And then I have all of these things down here at the bottom that are like, fuck that. If they have any of these, I don't care if they have everything else. I don't want anything to do with them.
See, that's where I sit right now, is they have to meet all the standards. Mm-hmm. But if there is no other, if they have to have these other things that might be cool.
Yeah.
I got rid of that list.
Oh, yeah?
That list is gone.
So you're being a lot more picky than I am.
That list is gone. They have to meet these standards. If they have any of these other faults,
right,
they're done. I ain't even going in there.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? That makes that 10 subjective. So your 10 is different from my 10. My 10 meets my list and doesn't hit any of the absolute deal breakers, whereas your 10 is very picky and she's got to have all of this with none of this, and there is no in between. Good for you, man. Seriously, good for you. You're not going to settle.
And that one that I picture as a 10, mm-hmm. She's got to hit me upside the head with a fucking 2x4, because that is the one that God planned for me, because that is my rib.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is guys these days anymore, they're so fucking comfortable, right? I mean, why be in a relationship with a woman, right? Because it's fucking difficult. It's hard. Well, let's not lie about it.
Here's the thing anymore.
It is work.
Why be in a relationship with a woman when you can go on to OnlyFans, find her on OnlyFans, and jack off to her?
Or Pornhub, or fucking...
But no, I'm saying...
Anywhere on the internet.
I'm saying the girl that you're chasing after, mm-hmm. She's probably on OnlyFans.
She could be, yeah.
So why not just look up her OnlyFans, see her naked, pay for a subscription, and there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's right. And so we go into fucking porn, which is another huge thing that is destroying men. Mm-hmm. It really is.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. why be in a relationship with a woman and put in the work and the effort to do nice things for a woman, or to take her out and pay for dinner or anything else, when you can just go home, beat off, and then fucking go to bed?
See, that's another thing where I've been saying, you know, I've been restructuring my life.
Yeah.
You know, I've deleted so much shit off of my phone, off of my computer, everything. I don't even look at that crap anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it. It really isn't.
I mean, I don't know.
The only thing that it's there for is to weaken us and to make us more comfortable.
Here's the thing.
And it doesn't do us any good.
Here's the thing is, even with like masturbation, if you hold off long enough, your brain takes care of that for you in the middle of the night. You might end up with wet sheets, but your brain takes care of it for you.
Well, yeah.
Because your body is designed to not get itself backed up.
Yeah, open up the pipes and release a little pressure.
Because you're going to have one hell of a nice dream that night that the pipes need to be cleaned. And
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean...
So why even bother with that? I mean, all you're doing is, by stopping doing that, you're building back up those testosterone levels.
Right, you are. The more you beat off every single day, the lower your testosterone gets. That is very true. Yep.
And that's why I think porn is so readily available now.
Yeah, because it's another thing that's designed to weaken us. You know, like you have a few states like Alabama and Mississippi or something where pornography is illegal. Even owning a fucking dildo is technically illegal. You know, but other than that, it's free and readily available 24 hours a day in a fucking device that everybody carries around in their pocket.
Yep.
You can fucking beat off driving down the road, sitting in the back of a taxi cab if you got a jacket over your lap.
Shit.
Or not, if you're fucking that kind of person.
Shit, you could go to Walmart and see women with glowing butt plugs walking around, so...
I know, right? Yeah, the foxtail glowing underneath your miniskirt. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
I don't get it.
That's part of that whole whatever makes you feel good mentality.
Well,
which in a relationship with a partner and someone that you care about and that you are vulnerable with, and you know, you guys have your alone time, right? And your intimacy. Like, yeah, okay. Between the two of you, whatever happens in the bedroom, whatever makes you feel good, cool. Like, do it up, man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys like to spread peanut butter on each other and just fucking mess around on rubber sheets, cool. I don't give a damn.
Shit, if you end up deciding to put Nair on your junk and make sure that it's bald and you're standing you're sitting on the living room sofa with a spatula in your hand,
right?
That's your business.
But that's the thing is, no one has shame anymore. No one has accountability to themselves. So everything is just out in the open and in the public, which is something that I've realized, you know, recently, that I've been probably more like laid back and open about shit that maybe I shouldn't be, you know, like stuff. Maybe there's some things that should be kept more private, but for that reason.
But here's the thing in today's society, with this being so prevalent.
Yeah.
It's sexualizing kids that are way too young to understand it.
Well, yeah, that's a fucking problem too. Because
you look at these kindergartners and preschoolers and going, Mommy, why is her butt glowing like a fucking, you know?
Yeah, it's
over-sexualizing kids.
Yeah.
And my own personal opinion about that is basically being a pedophile.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Because for an adult to bring their sexuality out into the mainstream public for kids to view,
right,
or anybody 18 or younger to view, is
you know what, they're gonna figure things out and they're gonna decide things on their own, and whatever you want to talk about with your kids, you know, maybe you're the kind of parent that doesn't want to shelter your kids. Okay, that's fine. And there's certain things that you want to talk to them about just to to give them some knowledge.
Then do that in your own home.
Do it in your own fucking home. You should be doing it with your kids. Your kids' teachers or their priest or anybody else should not be fucking doing it. You should be doing it, for one. And for two, think about what you're telling them. Like, does your 5-year-old need to know about anal? No. Whatever happened to just talking about the birds and the bees? Like, your kid gets to be like 12, 12-year-old boy. You notice that he starts spending a little more time in the bathroom than normal. And, okay, so you sit him down and you're like, hey, you know what you're doing, it's normal. But here's how things work.
The thing is anymore today, there is no more sense of morality.
Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, there really isn't. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody has any shame or self-accountability.
Because anymore today, they view morality as Christianity.
Right, but
and they want to separate church and state.
Right.
Even though Muslims have morality.
Right.
Hindus have morality.
Yeah.
All these other religions, even aside from Christianity, have morality.
Yeah.
They're basically telling them all to basically screw off. This is a Christian thing.
Yeah. And it's not about religion at all.
It's not. It's about morals and human ethics.
Right. It is about human ethics and about self-accountability and shame. And shame is not a bad thing.
Just because of my belief as far as in a Christian God doesn't, and I'm not imposing Christian values. I'm saying according to human values.
Yeah.
Human values, basically, even back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And the 1700s and 1600s. Men would be chivalrous towards women, court them.
Right.
And basically respect the family values and ask their father or their uncle or whoever the eldest male in the family was, and also the eldest female in the family, for that woman's hand in a relationship, or to even ask them to court her.
Yeah.
I don't know where we went wrong, but somehow we got away from that. And now anymore, and I don't blame feminism.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because the original feminists, they had a right to fight.
Yeah, they did. Things have changed a lot since the bra burning generation.
Oh, yeah.
Even real feminists, that were starting this and that were really into it, 60s, 70s. I mean, you talk to a real feminist from that generation, even she will tell you, like, whatever these bitches are doing today, it is not what we fucking intended.
It's not what they fought for.
This is not feminism.
No, it's not what they fought for.
Yeah. This whole notion of, new age, modern, and I'll say it, radical feminism, where, they basically go around, and maybe not necessarily saying it outright, but the way that they go about it just makes it look like the only thing they're saying is men are worthless pieces of shit. We're only good for our half of making a baby, and the rest of the time we're just
wasted
dumb fucking morons who get stuck in Venetian blinds trying to hang them up in a living room.
Yeah.
It's like all those ridiculous fucking the late night commercials that you see trying to sell like special drills and tools and shit, and the guy's all like getting stuck in the blinds and he's like, oh my god, honey, what like, you're a fucking
I
idiot.
have not watched mainstream TV in 5 years.
I haven't either, but
I have a Roku.
I remember though, even in the fucking 90s, when I did have cable, the 90s and the 2000s, it was fucking horseshit. There's always some dumb fucking guy that couldn't use a drill, and it's like, are you having problems putting?
I never thought that the Bud Light commercial where the guy was on his hand doing the handstand and asked for a Bud Light and then started drinking the Bud Light through his butt. and then asked for a hot dog from the bartender. I never thought that would become true, but it has. For these Bud Light drinkers.
I can't say I've seen it.
It was hilarious.
I can't say it. Okay, where's my phone? Now we gotta look this up. Jesus Christ. All right, YouTube. If you find it, send me the link. So what the fuck would that be? Bud Light. How about Bud Light Butt Chug? Was it an actual commercial? Like on TV?
There you go. It's a clown.
Send it to me so we can do the audio on here.
Oh, they didn't get to the hot dog part.
So it's a clown.
Give me a Bud Light. Must be hot in that suit.
A clown walking into a bar upside down on his hands. And he asks for a Bud Light, and he's drinking it with his ass. Or it's a guy in a clown suit standing up, and it just looks like he's doing handstands.
Yeah.
Can I get one of those hot dogs? I don't think so.
Hey, can you give me one of those hot dogs?
Sometimes I don't think
And the guy, bartender's like, I don't think so.
it's hilarious.
I never thought I'd believe that it would ever come true that is actually what Bud Light's turned to, but it has.
Okay, for shits and giggles, I'm going to put a link to that in the description for this episode. Yeah, that's pretty funny. What are you talking about, man? That's how I drink all my beers.
Alrighty then. We should do another shot.
Another shot? Again? You want another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take another shot.
Yeah.
Why not? So like 90s, probably, yeah, all the way through the 90s, and then into the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have a lot of money, and my mom worked her ass off just to fucking make sure we had Christmas presents and a roof over our head and shit like that. But there was many a time where she ended up just having to shut the cable off. So we would go through spurts. Like, it would be like 3 months or something where we didn't have cable. We just had like bunny ears. Or over where we grew up at in the Silver Valley, you could still hook up the cable to the TV, and you would get like channel 2,
3, and
3, 4, 6, 8.
Just the regular local channels.
Yeah, like basic cable was always on. But yeah, we didn't get anything else except every once in a while. My mom could afford it, and she would be like, "All right, we're gonna get cable for a couple of months."
There's another, like one of those rabbit style ear things that is coming out. I watched something on Instagram about it, where an inventor actually figured out how to build a small device like an antenna that picks up the satellite signals.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And cable companies are trying to ban them.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Because if you could pick up the satellite signals, you could pick up any station around the world.
Yeah. But are they all unlocked?
They're all unlocked.
Because the satellite's all digital.
That's the thing, is he found a way to basically make the antenna to where it will decrypt the digital signal.
Fuck yeah.
And you could pick up any channel in the world.
Fuck yeah, I need to get me one of those.
And they're already working on banning it.
Is it on Kickstarter or what?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up, but I think they're like $1,000 a piece right now.
Huh. Yeah. So speaking of banning, what I was saying earlier about that one episode, it was me, Charlie, and JJ.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about fucking COVID shit, and putting our opinions out there and this, that, and the other thing.
I'm honestly waiting for more people to start dying off from the shots.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I saw something earlier today.
Especially with the new shot that they're gonna start putting out.
Well, fuck it, I ain't taking
the new variant that they're our new round of shots that they're suggesting.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing is just one big fucking experiment.
Well,
in my opinion.
Here's the thing: as somebody on one of the Instagram stations that I follow, the ladies are very, sorry again with the whole Christianity thing, but
no, do it up, dude. I don't care.
She's a very Christian lady.
Yeah.
But she also held on to like news articles from like 11, 12 years ago, saying from scientists going, the only way we're going to get rid of 30% of the population is through vaccines.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's designed to kill off a lot of the population, right? Because there's...
And I honestly think that each time these people with the vaccine end up catching COVID, the symptoms are worse for them.
Yeah, well, there was something... And I mean... I don't know if any of this shit is true, right? I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't look shit up. I don't research anything. All I know is stuff that friends of mine who are like in the whole conspiracy circle, like fucking post on Facebook or shit that they send me that's like YouTube snippets and stuff like that. I have no idea. I don't look at any of this crap because I don't fucking care. And maybe I should. Maybe I should fucking care more and I should actually look stuff up more on my own. I mean, that's probably a thing. But... what I look at is, do I give a fuck about getting the shot? No, I don't. I have my own opinion about it. I'm not going to fucking get it.
I'm never going to get it.
Yeah, I think it's a fucking hoax. I think it's just a big fucking horse shit.
It's the whole same thing with these people that are now getting a chip in their hand or forehead to go and scan for groceries. I am not getting that shit either.
Yeah, exactly. Who, fucking Bill Burr, the comedian, he has a fucking great bit about, how everybody's going to get fucking chipped up just like they put into dogs.
Yeah.
And then at some point the government's going to fucking not like something you say and then shut your chip off and you're sitting at the bar trying to fucking pay for your next round and it won't go through. And then it's like, oh, fuck that guy. I don't even know that guy. He was over there talking shit about the government. Now he can't pay for his drinks. Fuck him. Get away from me.
Yeah.
They're going to shut my chip off. Yeah, I'm not doing that shit either. No, it's all about fucking control. And it's all about controlling the masses. What they're trying to do, in my opinion, is trying to weed down the masses into a smaller, more controllable group.
Once the government comes across and finally says, and let's say we have a mass, all of a sudden people seem like they've been abducted by aliens. So once 30% of the population of the world, let's say, is abducted by aliens, I'm grabbing all my rifles and everything that I can carry, and I'm heading up into the woods, and I'm going to live off the land for the next 7 years after that.
Yeah.
Because then Jesus will be back. Because that was the rapture.
Yeah.
And you're more than welcome to come with me.
Well, and good questions, though. Like, I imagine you went through survival school in the military, right?
Oh, yeah.
So eating bugs, living off the fucking whatever the hell you can find in the trees, shit like that. But have you taught yourself how to grow stuff? How to grow vegetables? Do you have a green thumb?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can hunt, you can grow.
I also know how to identify herbs and natural vegetation that is good for antibiotics and
pull that toward you.
That is good for antibiotics.
Yeah, pull it towards you. You don't.
I'm already pulling it towards me.
There you go.
See,
there you go.
See?
There you go.
I'm now a butt phase.
That's another reason for the headphones
right there.
There you go. You can hear it. Yeah.
But yeah, I've learned all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. See, and that's what I need to work on, I think. And I've kind of slacked on it is learning more about like how to grow things. I don't even have any fucking plants in this place. I mean, look around, dude. I've been thinking about like getting a plant of some sort forever and I haven't done it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should fucking get some herbs. I should get like some basil and fuck, I don't know, whatever else I can put on the
you
counter.
can grow just about anything in this house on the counter.
I know. I should.
You can grow garlic.
I'll
grow tomatoes.
Yeah.
You can grow all that.
I'll be happy if I can keep a fucking plant alive for longer than a week, to be honest with you. But no, just learning more about being able to grow things and self-sustain. Like, I definitely need to delve more into that because I seriously think that's where I'm lacking.
No,
Like, I'm not a hunter, honestly. Like I've said, I haven't even finished my fucking hunter safety course. I've never been hunting for anything other than grouse.
but here's the thing: is you have a network.
Right, exactly.
That is something that you have.
Yes.
That, let's say, other people might not have.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's an important thing.
You have a network. You have me. You have Charlie. You have all these other guys.
Right.
That have supported you even through man camp. We can make our own stills. We can do all that kind of stuff up there.
Yeah.
You know? And if we had to beat feet and get off the grid and get away from the chaos that's going to ensue, I believe shortly.
Well, and that's one of the recurring themes, you know, in the men's group that I attend, where we talk about, you know, have your tribe and your network of guys, right? And that's part of the men's group, is just getting guys together to be able to, you know, to be able to talk to each other and commune and talk about, you know, well, I would like to learn this. Oh, you work in advertising, you know, what can you tell me about, you know, this, blah, 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 things like that, you know, or whatever else.
And I could even show you how to build a bow, a bowstring lighter.
Right.
So,
but that's, like you're talking about, that's a huge thing, is having a network of men, and not necessarily even like-minded men, but men who, even if you're not like-minded, can be open-minded and agree to disagree on things, but still share information and still get along and talk to each other and things like that. So, you know, I'm a fucking brain when it comes to technology and computers and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm very good at figuring things out on the spot.
So
I'm very
you would probably be the guy that is like, okay, well, we got all these pieces of a ham radio. I could probably get it working.
Right. Yeah.
And we could learn what's going on in the outside world.
Yes.
While myself and another guy or a couple other guys are out there hunting, fishing, trapping, and providing for the meals and everything else for our family groups.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I've always thought, is that's my place, is when it comes to electronics, if it has, or mechanics, if it has an engine or a circuit board, I can fix it. I can make it work.
Now, you and I, as far as let's say there's no more gas stations. Mm-hmm. I would be picking your brain because I know how to build the stove to basically make a pine smoke stack gas tank.
Okay.
But I don't know how to get the engine to connect to it.
Yeah.
So that would be where I'd talk to you and we're like, okay.
Well, see, at that point, that's where I would say diesel. Because it's not an easy thing to do by any means, but it's far easier to make biodiesel than it is to fuck around with gas.
But let's say,
in my opinion,
all we have is a gas combustion engine.
Yeah.
And I could show you, I could basically build the plumes and everything else to where that gas ran engine is basically ran off of a campfire.
Yeah.
And that smoke goes back into the gas tank. I would need your help converting whatever kind of carburetor or whatever it is to be able to adjust to that, because I don't know the mechanics behind that style of.
And that's one of those things that I could probably figure out.
And I could supply the fuel.
Yeah.
Because I know how to get the grade of smoke to sink that you're going to need to fuel that, because that smoke, it's going to carry enough carbon and enough
another thing that
enough alcohols in that smoke.
Well, and speaking of alcohol, another thing that I would say is, I mean, they're not. It's not like there's a shit ton of them on the road, but there are a lot of rigs out there that, especially Chevys, that are now designed to run on multi-fuel, right? So they take the E85, they take ethanol and all that shit. Ethanol, it's fucking corn. So if we were able to find enough space to just grow fucking fields of corn,
but
we can figure out how to make ethanol.
To make enough corn to
And granted, I'm probably talking out of my fucking ass, but
to create enough alcohol out of corn.
I know it's
to distill that down.
Yeah. Ethanol's a fucking pipe dream.
Just to get one car or truck to run on one tank, you're going to need 2 acres of corn.
That is true. That is true. It takes a lot of fucking corn just to run one rig off of ethanol. That's why I say ethanol is a fucking pipe dream.
Yeah.
But it's not doable.
But
I do have friends with acreage.
But here's the thing. If you look up...
but again, that's why I say diesel.
Look up pine... basically... pine smoke combustion engine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Because basically you're running the vehicle off of a campfire.
Fuck it, we can look it up right now. What is it? Pine smoke combustion?
Yeah.
Look at that. We got all this great fucking technology and shit right at our fingertips. And we're sitting here talking like we know stuff. See, this is another problem too. We have basically the encyclopedia of the entire planet in our pockets at all times. And what does everyone get their information from? Fucking Facebook. Facebook and YouTube and everything else, which, hey, granted, I have fixed a lot of cars looking at YouTube videos, but there's so much more out there that people just don't look at because no one wants to do the legwork or put in the effort to actually fucking do their research. Myself included. That's a good one. Pine smoke combustion. Let's see what this comes up with. Wood smoke in your house. The science behind wildfire smoke. Mm-hmm.
Cars that run on trees.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You found it. You found it. Let's see. What is this?
I believe the fastest that they'll go is like 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, but 35 miles an hour is better than walking. And it'll still fucking, move it'll still probably move a load of wood.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe even run a chainsaw if you know how to fucking hook it up. So this website is worksthatwork.com. The article is Cars That Run on Trees. It says wood-burning cars may seem like a steampunk fantasy or the backyard obsession of some mad tinkerer, but at one point they were commonplace in many parts of Europe, and the technology that powers them still finds practical applications today. Deep in the forests of inland Sweden, Johan, engine, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God.
Basically what it does is it basically takes the smoke from the campfire and reburns it through the engine.
Okay.
To make the engine combust like it would off of gas. Because that smoke that is still coming off that gas, off that campfire.
I can see that. There's
still chemicals in there that will combust and catch fire.
Yeah, there's still carbon and whatever else in there that'll still burn. This is kind of akin to me to like a Stirling engine. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Wood-powered automobiles were invented. Excuse me. Were invented in 1905 by Thornycroft, an English car company, but it was another 20 years before Jorge. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce that, dude. Change your name. We'll just call him Jorge. Jorge Imbert, a French guy.
He's a perverted Frenchman. Let me see your wee-wee.
A Spanish-French guy named Jorge Imbert. A French chemist made wood gas travel a practical possibility with a redesigned burning chamber that used suction from the engine to pull gas downward. The hot core of the burning logs. Through the hot core of the burning logs, this model could create a great deal more carbon monoxide than previous iterations. Oh. Yeah. So that's why it would have gotten rid of. Because if they knew anything about fucking greenhouse gases back then, there probably would have been Greenpeace motherfuckers like, oh my God, no, you're going to destroy the planet.
Yeah.
It also ensured a steady burn as gravity and the vibration of the vehicle would shake acid loose from the pile. Okay, makes sense. Settling new fuel into place. By the 1930s, 4 European governments were actively researching invert gasifiers. Gasifier. Now, there's a word to remember. With a view to their use in mass transportation. Politically neutral, Sweden and Finland. Did you know? So, I don't know if it's fucking horseshit or not, but I saw something that was talking about electric cars back in the 30s and the 40s. It was some company that had a fleet of delivery trucks that were battery powered. Basically the Model T of the Tesla.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, considering batteries back then it was a wooden box filled with fucking sulfuric acid and lead, and you probably got like 10 miles per charge. So it was probably local deliveries only, but that blew my fucking mind. I was like, what? They've been doing that shit since then? Let's see, from the place in the 30s.
But yeah, I mean, let's say all society breaks down and we can't even like turn on the pump because the electrical grid is off.
Yeah.
At the gas stations. And we had to do something. That would be another alternative.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see how. So here's something that I've been thinking about a lot actually in the last few years. Have you ever heard of a Bedini motor?
Of a Bedini motor?
Yeah. No. I can't remember the fucking spelling of it. I want to say it's Bedhini, but it's an electric motor, and the way that it's wound is, so you would have an 8-core motor, and 4 of those are wound a certain way so that it turns the motor. God, I need to quit smoking. The other 4 are wound the opposite way, so that as the magnets pass while the other 4 are turning it, those ones are producing electricity backwards. So you still have a battery, but you wind them double so that you're putting more back into the battery than you're using to turn it.
Yeah, you're talking about a perpetual
motion, yes, which everybody says is horseshit and it's impossible. But
I don't think that it's impossible.
If YouTube is in any way fucking real, it is possible, and I've fucking seen it a million times. I've seen where the guy made one, and he's got a Bedini motor powering a battery bank that's hooked up to an inverter, and he's got a wall of 100-watt fucking light bulbs that are being powered by this thing. And this video is, I don't even know how many hours long, but he's basically stating in it that once you start it, it will keep going unless it breaks or you turn it off. And so he's got this wall of 100-watt light bulbs just going in his garage, and they're going on for days. And he's like, yeah, unless I shut it off or it fucking breaks, they'll never turn off. All the electricity I could fucking want right here.
I honestly believe that is possible.
Yeah, and so do I. So in terms of cars, right, and especially like Teslas and electric vehicles and shit like that, for one, what boggles me is we've already proven that hybrid energy at the moment is far more sustainable and works a lot better. If you were to, say, take a Tesla and put a generator in the back of it, or put in a gas engine that would generate enough power to operate it and then a little more, you could literally get thousands of miles on a gallon of gas.
Why haven't they taken the Tesla engine? Let's say they put on the roof a solar panel.
Yeah.
A solar panel roof.
Yeah, exactly. Something to extend the range.
And then also 2, charging coils. Or charging coils on all 4 tires.
Yes. I know where you're going with this. I've thought about it too.
So basically you have, I'm drawing a brain fart. You have the starter, you have the...
No, I see where you're going with it.
Basically, what charges the battery in your car?
So I see what you're saying. Yes, as
the generator for your car.
Yeah, the alternator.
Oh, exactly. Put 4 alternators on the car, right behind the rotor.
And as you're driving, it are
charges the batteries.
Even if it's not enough to perpetually propel the machine, it's enough to increase your range by thousands of miles. Yeah, I get it. I see exactly where you're going with it, and I've thought about the same thing. Why not make it to where it is generating electricity as it drives and as it is expelling, so that you can increase its range?
I think the only thing that's stopping him from doing that is overcharging.
Well, and that's part of it. But the other thing is, so if you want to dive deep right into the deep state, I think part of that is that they still don't want to get off fossil fuels. No. I think part of it is corporatization and shadow government, right? Basically, someone is telling them that they can't do that. And why? Because they still want you to have to stop and plug it in and pay big energy companies to recharge your fucking batteries.
Then why is it that California said what, last month? Hey, if you drive a Tesla, can you not charge your car because we're running low on electricity?
They've been saying that for months. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But then they have a plan to basically be completely off the petrol grid by 2030.
Yeah, they're trying to, so they're massively putting the axe to diesels right now, and they're trying to go all like Tesla fucking full electric powered with all their semis and everything else, right? And I was talking to a buddy of mine about this recently, right after I bought this fucking diesel Jeep, and I was like, man, I was doing some research on it just for shits and giggles, and from what I read about the new age of diesel engines with all of this DEF bullshit and everything that the EPA is now requiring, that whole DEF system reduces diesel NOx emissions to near zero. So almost nothing. So what's coming out of the tailpipe, and that's another thing that I thought about. I was like, man, you can't even roll coal in this fucking thing. It's impossible. For one, because of the engine management and the fuel management, but because of that DEF is constantly eliminating all of the sulfur and everything else that's coming out of it, right? Okay, so if it eliminates NOx emissions to near zero, then why haven't we switched all vehicles to diesel?
And you know that they've had the technology to basically run every freaking car, every freaking ship, every freaking plane on this planet. They've had the technology to run it off of ocean water since the 1930s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you ever I think I've brought this up on this podcast before. Did you ever see, it was a guy I think it was the late 80s who, he had like a Volkswagen Beetle that he turned into it was like a dune buggy type of deal.
Yeah, that he turned into a hydro vehicle.
He turned it into a hydro vehicle, and he invented, so what it was, and I looked it up, and I looked at all of his patents and everything else. Like, I dove into it pretty hard because I was like, wow, this is fucking amazing. What it was he created a self-contained hydrogen generating fuel injector. So instead of having a fuel cell that would create hydrogen to feed the car, each cylinder was fed on its own by its own injector so that it would have enough for, whatever output you were trying to get from it.
But not blow up.
Exactly. So all you had to have was a tank full of water, and the engine would fucking run on hydrogen, and each cylinder was feeding itself. And supposedly this fucking guy, like, he went to a dinner with someone who was very interested in trying to develop this.
Did he end up dead?
He did end up dead.
Yeah, he got killed.
He went to that dinner, and a day or two later, he ended up having a fucking massive heart attack. And some of the things that I read, what they think happened was that so basically after it started coming out and he was on the news, driving it around and like telling them all about how it works and everything, he started getting calls from people that were involved with OPEC and like big fucking oil and all this shit that were threatening him and like, hey, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, something bad's gonna fucking happen to you, right?
Yeah, and then 2 days later he ends up dead.
He goes to this meeting with this fucking guy from a company that wanted to develop this shit, and like a day or two later he ends up having a massive heart attack. And what his family thinks happened is someone walked by and sprayed some shit in his fucking soup that killed him.
Honestly, I probably think I would actually, with a heart attack or whatever, or even a stroke or something like that, I think somebody probably came behind him with a pen, like an injector pen, injected him with arsenic because it's harder to trace, and he just ended up dead.
Yeah, they gave him the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, you know.
That's going to do it. That's going to get this pulled from YouTube.
Yeah, they gave him COVID.
Yeah. No, I'd believe it. I would believe it.
But no, and
that's the thing, right? So after he dies, there's like 2 or 3 different AKA, and I'm putting air quotes here, scientists that come in and they do all these lectures that dive deep into his patent and his design and everything else, and they're calling him a fucking fake. And they're saying that this thing that he created, it's fucking horseshit, and there's no way it could ever actually work, and it's a bunch of horseshit, and the guy was lying.
They say the same thing about perpetual motion.
Right, but if you look and follow the money trail, right? And this is the most important thing that people fucking forget about. Follow the money trail. Who paid these scientists to do these lectures and call this guy a fucking fake?
Soros and everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. All the fucking billionaires and the federal government who stand to make a shit ton of fucking money off of oil. They're the ones who fucking paid for these scientists to go on here and say that this dude was a fucking fake. So of course they're going to fucking, give me $1 million. I'll fucking say whatever you want. Sure. Oh, you're going to fucking kill me if I don't do it? Okay, give me $1 million and don't kill me. And sure, I'll go up there and I'll say whatever you want me to say.
Yeah.
It's fucking horseshit.
I would probably take the money and run too.
Oh, yeah, I probably would too.
I mean,
I can't blame them. I'm just saying, it's fucking horseshit.
I can't blame the guys for taking the money and running. The only thing they couldn't get me to do is deny my God. That's about it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'll deny anything that man has done.
That's your Braveheart moment.
That is my. Yeah, that's my Braveheart moment.
That's your Braveheart moment. When you're on the table about to get your head cut off.
I would lose my head.
They can take my gasoline, but they can never take my God.
Exactly. Seriously, I'm serious as a heart attack with that.
Hey man, that's good. It's good. You gotta be straightforward and hard point on something.
That's the only thing that they will never be able to take from you is Jesus.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Faith is a good thing to have.
So,
like I said, religion in the Bible is structured and it makes sense.
They could take my guns before they could take Jesus. And you know how I feel about my guns.
Damn, dude. Damn. That's a strong thing for you to say.
You know how I feel about my guns.
Yeah, I do. Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Now you're getting heavy.
And I don't care what color you call Jesus, he's still Jesus, and he's still my Jesus, and he died for my sins, and they can take my guns before they take my Jesus.
Wow. Cheers to that, man.
I'm out. So we'll have to do another shot.
There's beer in there.
Oh, okay.
Ultras, but
I gotta stop and use the bathroom anyway.
Yeah, hit it up, man.
So where were we at? They can take my guns before they take my Jesus.
Yep, they can take your guns.
Braveheart.
Yep, Braveheart in it. That's right, man. Your last stand. So I got one question though.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, do you believe in aliens?
Okay, I believe in angels.
Okay.
And if you look at the description of aliens, where they're oblong-headed, gelatin gray style creatures,
Pull that towards you.
right?
Yeah.
And they have like kind of Down syndrome like features, right?
Downsy angels.
And now,
They
seriously,
have, like big foreheads and
seriously. Now, if you look in the Bible, as far as the description of angels, non-sexed,
like eunuchs.
eunuch style, beautiful creatures.
Yeah.
What would a fallen angel with a missing chromosome look like?
Like the Greys.
So, and Lucifer, before he fell, was the angel of light.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He was the angel of light and music and, all these beautiful things. So if he still has those abilities, what would be the best way to deceive the masses than say, there's aliens out there? How is the Bible real?
I see what you're saying.
And then, how are we going to describe these aliens? Here, look at one of my demons.
So you think aliens are actually demons that are posing as beings from another world under orders from Lucifer?
To deceive us, because he is a great liar.
But do you believe that other planets that could possibly support life exist in the universe? I'm not talking about just in our solar system or even our galaxy.
I believe there are other planets that could potentially support life, yes.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Big Bang, okay, let's go back to science right now.
Yeah.
Go back to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And our universe was all of a sudden born in a second.
Yeah.
And it's all spreading apart. Intelligence and everything else is spreading apart at the same speed. So how could there be an intelligent life in the universe that exceeds ours if all intelligence is growing at the same pace? Because we all started from the same one core.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So if the entire universe was born from the Big Bang, right? Mm-hmm. So do you believe that the Big Bang was the hand of God creating the universe?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when he said, "Let there be light,"
Yes. So
it all of a sudden became
right.
created.
Yeah. And we are all created in God's image.
Exactly.
So if there are other planets that are capable of supporting life,
They would all be in our image.
right. So and I do believe that there are quote unquote aliens that are exactly like us.
But I believe that their intelligence level is the same as ours. We haven't gone any further, neither have they.
Well, yes, but what is the center of the universe, right? So
The center is where the Big Bang occurred.
exactly. So that being said, if our star is farther away than or is closer than another one, say one that has been around longer, right? Because if you go outside and you look up,
How could it be around longer if everything was created all at once?
that's true. That's true. But
So are you saying because the initial blast traveled further off of that one star, it's more intelligent than ours?
Possibly.
But how's that possible?
Only because they've had longer to figure shit out than we have.
But not really.
Because that initial blast, I look at it and I want to say I've talked about this before. I did. I talked about this with Luke. It was either episode 2 or somewhere in there.
On day 1, God said, "Let there be light," and there was.
Yes. But
and
if you look at
day 2,
it, right,
he created all the animals of the ocean and of the air.
Yes. But if you look at it in terms of an explosion, right? So you have the initial blast, which is the initial energy, that first boom that goes on, right? And
that was God saying, "Let there be light," and there was.
Okay. But then, so all the sparks that come out of that, if you look at every star as a spark.
So he was speaking to all the stars at the exact same time.
At the exact same time, yes. But if you were to observe an explosion.
So, hold up. I'm hearing where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But you're talking about an explosion. Okay.
Inertial energy.
Okay. But then on day 2, it doesn't matter how far out those other sparks have gone. When he spoke into existence, "Let there be the fish of the sea and birds of the air."
So you think everything is running?
Everything was created on every scale at the exact same time.
But do you think everything is running on the exact same timeline?
Yes.
Okay.
Because God does not speak outside of timelines.
But if our planet if planet Earth has been here for millions of years and it's been hit by asteroids and comets and whatever else, right? That has
according to what
yes, according to what
scientists
anthropologists
believe.
And scientists everything believe, right?
Even though I don't believe that the Earth is 1,000,000 years old, I believe the Earth is only 10,000 years old.
Okay.
And if you calculate back the Big Bang from its origin, we are only 10,000 years away from the beginning, according to the timeline travel from the start to where we are today.
Okay. But in that 10,000 years, if we have been hit by comets and asteroids and whatever else, excuse me.
But let's say those comets and asteroids and everything else happened within the first 3 days of God's creation.
I'm just saying that there have been events that have caused setbacks, right?
According to what science believes, yes.
Right. So there have been dinosaurs that had their time on the planet, and then they were all fucking killed off.
I believe the dinosaurs died during the flood.
During the flood? So 40 days and 40 nights?
Yeah.
You think they all died then?
Yeah.
All right.
Because even through the book of Genesis.
But why wouldn't any of them have been saved other than alligators and crocodiles?
Because alligators and crocodiles were not perverted by the beast.
By Lucifer. But why? How so though? Because alligators. God damn it! I can't talk now. I got too many shots.
Okay.
Alligators and crocodiles still eat anything and everything that comes their way. Just
so do sharks.
Same as raptors. Same as sharks. Same as
but
T-Rexes.
Those lizards that overgrew.
Yeah.
You still find smaller versions of them around today.
It's like geckos and fucking Komodo dragons and shit.
Mm-hmm. Where it also talks in the Bible about the Nephilim. The Nephilim were creatures and beings that were a mix between God's creation and angels and demons.
Huh.
The Nephilim, like Goliath was a giant. He was a Nephilim.
Yeah.
He was the son of an angel and a human woman.
Damn. He must have split that bitch like a piece of firewood.
No, he was an angel, so I don't know, even according to the Bible and some of the canons of the Bible that talk about angels and them not having genitalia or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how he impregnated her, and I'm not going to get into that debate.
Yeah, immaculate conception.
Okay, but I'm not going to get into that debate because angels and demons impregnated women and even got pregnant themselves by men, creating many different styles of humans. A lot of the Greek and Roman gods were created out of these Nephilim. And these are all in canons of the Bible and parts of the Dead Sea Scrolls that is not portrayed in the Bible, but is documented history. Kind of like Adam's first wife was named Lilith.
So was Fraser's wife.
Lilith. Okay. Well, Lilith ended up being a succubus.
True.
And Lilith.
Fraser's wife was a succubus.
I'm saying a literal succubus and a demon.
I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to be funny.
I agree. I'm just saying some of these books that are considered canons of the Bible.
Yeah.
According to the Catholic Church and according to the Dead Sea Scrolls or canons of the Bible.
Yeah.
Predict and talk about the history of everything that has happened since Genesis. And it's a historical account. But the Bible doesn't teach about it because God didn't want men and women to focus on the negative portions. He wanted to, because even in Genesis it talks about these books. It references these books. But they call them, canons, valid history, blah. And that's all they basically say about it. But and even though in the Old Testament, in Genesis, where he says, God, when he spoke to bringing all these things to light and everything else, he says, God stood with the Word, and the Word was Christ. And then when Jesus came on scene, Jesus says, I am the Word of God.
Okay.
So Jesus was there in the beginning. So was the Holy Spirit.
So Jesus, the Son of God, was the Word of God.
Is the Word of God.
Is the Word of God. Which, did you ever see the movie Dogma? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, it actually kind of makes sense. The way that movie goes down, and
it's
obviously it's
definitely a spoof about it, but yeah.
So the simple fact that no man can hear the word of God, otherwise their fucking head will explode, right? That would make sense, having to put something on earth that could basically soften the blow.
Yeah.
Right? So Jesus was able to repeat the word of God to man without man's head exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And if you look at all of Jesus's teachings, a lot of what even I have done, there is no way I would ever get to heaven except through Jesus.
Yeah.
Because of how I've sinned, even being a military soldier and taking life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though it was justified.
Yeah.
That's still murder.
Yeah. And
It might be justifiable homicide according to man's laws.
Yeah, arguably justifiable by man. Yeah.
But not according to God.
Yeah.
Because according to God, we are not supposed to be vengeful. We are not supposed to be hateful. We are not supposed to be these things, because vengeance is his, not ours.
Right.
So if anything is done wrong to us, vengeance is God's, not man's.
Yeah. And I could debate that, and I could argue that with you.
You probably could,
but I would rather.
but you would not change my stance on it.
And that's fine. That's good. That's good. I appreciate that you stand hard on what you believe in. Because that's an important thing.
I will listen to your argument.
Yeah, good.
And I will respect your argument.
Right. And I would hope that you would. No, but just for the sake of shits and giggles, I think we should get Charlie in. I think we should get Charlie in, and we should totally delve into a religious debate, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And I know that the both of you are probably gonna fucking tear me apart, but
Charlie's gonna try to tear me apart because I know for a fact Charlie has some viewpoints that
he does.
That is, oh, you are wrong. And I'm going to be like, okay, point it out in the scriptures.
You know what? Honestly,
because that is the only way you can defend yourself against Charlie. What scripture?
You know what, though? Now that I'm thinking about it, we should get Charlie and Andy at some point when he can fucking tear himself away from the fucking railroad. Because Andy's got some crazy fucking awesome views on everything too.
But yes, those are my viewpoints, especially when it comes to aliens. And so I don't believe that there's a intelligent life form out there that is necessarily us.
Yeah. So you think aliens are us?
As far as, like, let's say.
But
it might not say so in our Bible or anything else, but maybe it was another Bible, and they're basically another experiment of God's.
Okay. So in that aspect,
I believe that yes, that might be a possibility, but that is not for us to know.
Yeah. So in that aspect, aliens are another aspect of us. They're another experiment of God. They're another planet of beings where he said, okay, I did this here. Now I'm going to try this over here. But
it would still be according to the same scriptures that we already read here.
Okay. But those beings,
I don't think are any more advanced than us.
They've just somehow figured out how to travel between worlds.
Then that would the only thing that would explain to me is the Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect, where you hear something or see something that isn't actually what happened, but everyone believes it is?
Yeah.
Okay. We're at 2 hours, but now I'm curious.
We'll have to do that on another episode.
Okay, all right. Well, so
because I'm gonna go into a 4 or 5 hour episode.
We could. I'm going to make a note of this. and we're going to bring this into the Charlie, maybe also Andy episode.
Okay.
Yeah, because now I'm super fucking interested. God damn, you're tearing my mind apart right now. Fucking Mike.
That was a good episode, I think.
It is a good episode. See, and that's the funny thing is, like, I have my own viewpoints and I have my own thoughts about religion and God and all this stuff. But the fact that I'm agnostic and I don't know what's out there, I am very open. I am very open to a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different ways of seeing things, because I don't know. So I'm always looking at something as like, okay, well, maybe that's this, but this doesn't make sense to me. So let's talk about this and blah, blah, blah. Like, change my mind about it. What is there that could be different?
The only thing that I could say about all religions out there, you look at Muhammad and the Quran.
Now we're going to get booted from YouTube. Good job. You talked about Muhammad.
Okay.
Now somebody's going to... I'm not even say it.
You talk about Muhammad. You talk about Buddha. You talk about any of these other enlightened deities. Mm-hmm. They say, yes, Jesus is a way.
Well, see, and my experience of Buddhism
they say that, yes, Jesus is a teacher and he is a way to become enlightened. Jesus does not acknowledge any of them. Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life.
Yeah. And
that is it. He does not acknowledge anybody else but himself. But everybody else acknowledged Jesus as a savior.
Right. And my experience and knowledge of Buddhism is kind of like a, well, maybe. Live and let live.
Yeah.
Do you? Why do you have to kill each other just because you disagree?
Well, Jesus doesn't agree with killing each other because you disagree.
Right.
If you read the actual scriptures of Jesus, he says, turn the other cheek. And not to fight back.
Yeah.
Basically, if somebody slaps you on one cheek, give them the other.
Yeah.
Basically, let them slap you again.
But fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
That is not in the scripture. All right, this is definitely a conversation for another time.
Yep, we got to bring in Charlie. God damn it, Charlie. All right, fuck it. Let's wrap it up, man. We're at 2 hours. Everybody, fuck, I hope you made it to the end of this. This was a lot of fucking fun.
This was a blast.
Yep. We need to definitely get Charlie in here and have some shots and figure some shit out.
Oh, Charlie and I are probably going to end up sleeping on your couch after our episode.
That's fine.
Okay.
You guys can spoon on my couch all you want.
Okay, cool.
I added more pillows to it, so it's a lot more comfy.
I'll bring a cot.
I got a blow-up mattress. We're good. We'll just throw it out here. Look, there's plenty of room.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a time to do that because it's going to be a lot of fucking drinking.
Oh, heck yeah.
We're going to get fucked up.
I'll bring my own bottle.
We're going to get fucked up and we're going to analyze the universe and God and aliens and...
Probably Charlie's asshole.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh. I'll bring a stethoscope.
Love you, Charlie.
Love you, bro.
Everybody, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. And all you grinders out there, have a great fucking week and keep on grinding, doing what you do. Appreciate you. Bye, everybody.